Brothers, sorry, I don't even remember my own intro. Brothers, sisters, gender resistors, welcome once again to another arousing episode.
I think it's
titillating
rousing.
episode.
I think you're looking for rousing, not arousing.
No, you don't have any facial hair. It's definitely arousing. I, of course, am the man who did this introduction. I am Chick, and you are listening to the Rundown Reviews brought to you by the Comic Book Rundown. Again, I am the guy who did this. And of course, I'm joined once again by the CEO, editor, chief supreme ruler, and reptilian overlord of the Comic Book Rundown, Mr. Janero himself, Joe.
Howdy.
I think that's how we do it. I think that's what your name would be at this point.
You know what? I'll take it. You've said it so
That
many
was the
different ways.
nicest. I think that's the nicest you ever actually said it to him.
Actually
So.
was.
That was actually, well, we have a guest today, so Joey, you want to introduce? This is the first time I've ever met Colin or knew that this person existed. So, hi, Colin.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Colin is a friend of Ron and I's. I asked him to come on, I think a couple weeks back, like, hey, we've got this movie coming up. You want to join? He's like, yeah, sure. I love this movie. So hopefully, after rewatching it, I also meant to tell you, we rate this out of 10. Just think about that toward the end of the show. Hopefully, this didn't change your mind of how you enjoyed the movie.
I mean, enjoy the movie is a whole nother standard.
Oh, perfect. He'll fit right in.
Oh god, here we go. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. So this is going to be a movie. This is going to be an episode where Charlie loves the movie and is going to gush about it for an hour.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and everybody else is going to, except for Joe, is going to shit on it. Cool.
I love So I love this movie. I still
one day, Chuck, we'll find one that everybody hates except for you, and then we can shit on it, and then you'll know what Joey feels like every time we watch a Batman movie.
Yeah, it's called Toxic Avenger, and you guys did it a lot. Okay.
You shit on Toxic Avenger just as much as we did.
Yeah, but I still loved it. That's my point. Anyway,
it's a love. Is it like a love-hate thing though? Because it's like
Anyway, Ron's here too. The Ronisher is here.
Punisher from 2004.
Yep.
With Thomas Jane. This man, like Ron, you and I have covered the Dolph Lundgren one from '89.
Yeah.
That one was.
Hey, at least he didn't get naked in this one.
Well,
he got pretty close.
He was. You saw a lot of chest.
Okay, what did you do? I'm pretty sure that Dolph was running around. But Dolph was running around naked for part of that movie. So,
there was two scenes where you saw Lundgren's ass. Yes.
Well, that doesn't count.
What is what's the Always Sunny movie that they want Dolph Lundgren to do? That is just like him fucking that chick, pretty much.
I'm not up to that. I'm not up to that season yet. I don't think.
Thunder something. Thunder. I don't remember. All I can think is Thunderdome, and I know that's not correct. Yeah. Anyway, that's a good movie. That's a great show. So Joey, when was your first experience with this movie?
So this was, 2004. I was out of high school, so I had my own money. I had a job. I saw this in theaters. I really, really liked this. Though, although I remember, I don't know if I got the novelization after the movie and I read it, or I read it like before, or maybe during, like a little bit before, then a little bit after. But there was a lot of stuff in the novelization that I recall being like, "Oh man, this would have been good to see in the actual movie." Turns out, a lot of that stuff in the novelization was in the extended cut that then got cut out.
Oh goddamn! We need a Snyder cut for this one too, huh?
2004, man. What are you saying? But yeah, so I saw this in theaters in 2004. Chuck, what about you?
I also saw this in theaters in 2004. My mommy brought me to it because it was rated R, and I was still 16.
A baby.
I was still 16, so I could not get in without parental accompaniment. Because at that point, I think because my mom had taken me to Starship Troopers when I was in second grade was the reason why they were checking IDs at that point, and let me go in alone. So they were very adamant that they did not allow anybody without a photo ID, and I didn't have one. So my mom had to go in with me, which was funny because I rewatched this on my phone, and my mom doesn't remember, like, because she could hear it, didn't remember any of the things that were happening. She's like, did I see this movie? She's like, I know I saw this movie with you. I don't remember any of this happening. And I was
it
like,
was 20 years ago.
I was like, well, yeah, that's not surprising. You don't usually remember taking vacation, so I'm not surprised that you don't remember a 20-year-old movie. But I was obsessed with this movie. This was like,
dude, the soundtrack alone.
The summer
great.
that soundtrack came out, I listened to that. I listened to that album. I was working in the parks for the parks department, cleaning trails, and I just had this album in my CD Walkman on repeat for 4 hours every single day because I was like, the soundtrack was so good. Terrible. I mean, looking back at it, it's like it is corporate butt rock at its finest, but it was
Sure.
It defined a generation for me, specifically the generation of me being 16, working in the parks and wanting to like be the Punisher
Beat people up
and shoot my boss, pretty much.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Ron, did you see this in theaters, or did you?
I did not see this in theaters. The first time that I watched this, so there used to be a video rental place down by Kroger. Joey knows about Star Video, I'm sure.
Yep, I remember Star Video.
And I knew a guy that worked there, and they had the demo disc for the movie, like before it actually got released, like the DVD, so they could demo it or whatever. And he let me borrow that, which I still have to this day, which is how I watched it today or yesterday. But so it cuts in and out. It's black and white, like for parts of it, and it has the lion, like this is property of Lionsgate across the bottom of it. Yeah. But so that was the first time I watched it back in like 05.
Nice.
Or whenever it came out on
04.
video.
Probably in 05. Yeah. Colin, what about you? Did you see this in theaters, or you have to wait till DVD?
I watched this on DVD. I saw it in the basement with a couple of my friends. I remember one of my buddies had seen it in theaters and talked it up so much, but then when we watched it in the basement, we just literally tore it asunder.
Yeah, that's like what example? Give me an example of what you guys what
I mean, it's a good bad action film. That's all it is.
I don't know about
John Travolta was terrible in this movie. Absolutely terrible.
It's like watching John Travolta be Nicolas Cage, but in Face Off, but like Nicolas Cage not being there as a bad guy.
He never got his face back, all right? That's what happened.
But he did, though. That's the problem.
This is an alternative timeline, Joey, okay?
What if they did want Nicolas Cage for this role and he turned it down? Because this was like 2004.
They're like, John Travolta.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it. No, get Travolta. Get Travolta.
Nicolas Cage because of the Face Off.
So yeah, I was obsessed with this movie when it came out. By the way, Joey, I paid $10 to watch this movie because it's not streaming anywhere, so I had to buy it off Prime because I apparently don't have the DVD of it, which I
told you
or that I did.
You gotta message me, and I'll just put my camera on my phone, and then we can watch it together.
So
yeah, that's true.
I was trying to upload it to my Movies Anywhere account, and then I was gonna like send you my Movies Anywhere account so that you can just watch it that way. But something happened. It actually had to go through Lionsgate, and then that went through Vudu, but my Vudu wasn't working properly, so it was a whole thing. And that was like Thursday night. And I'm like,
normally, if I have to pay money to watch a movie that you're forcing me to watch, it usually loses a quarter of a point. However, I had to pay $10 for this movie, and it will not in any way, shape, or form affect my score because I still loved this movie. It's not good. By any wild stretch of the imagination. And I am solely basing everything that I am about to say for the next 45 minutes completely off the nostalgia factor of how cool I thought this movie was. That being said, Thomas Jane is a weird Frank Castle.
The beginning scene where he is, undercover,
hated that they made him a cop. I hate that they made him a cop, but it's fine.
What? He was because he was just army. That's what it was.
Yeah, he was just a military dude.
But
he was Marine, wasn't he? He was
Was he?
I believe
Marine?
he was a Vietnam Marine originally. Was like how he was like first introduced, and then he was supposed to go hunt Spider-Man or whatever. And then they rewrote him in like, was it 07 when War Journal came back out, and he was like was he an
Iraqi vet?
Yeah, I think Iraqi vet or Desert Storm vet. I don't remember, but
okay. I don't recall either.
But he was originally just a Vietnam guy because he fought along with Logan.
Well, who didn't fight along with Logan in the war?
Well,
a war.
What war?
A war. Literally all of them. Name a war. Logan fought along some superhero.
But that's why I inherently love the Punisher, is because he's fighting with/against like super mutants and villains and beings. He's just a dude with a gun with a purpose that he doesn't even fully understand or believe at this point. And he's just like so inherently that tragic of a character. And then this movie came out and they kind of forgot that a little bit here and there.
I mean, they threw the tragedy when they killed his whole family, which killed his
by the way,
whole and extended family.
Yeah, like fantastic scene. Like that is a great example of how like building a background for revenge.
Okay, except for why the fuck didn't the wife and kid jump off the fucking bridge? Why did they run right down the middle of the pier? What were they hoping to do, outrunning a fucking truck?
Maybe they were hoping that the pier would actually give way for the truck's weight. Who knows?
Maybe they thought that truck was never going to get through there, despite the fact that car, just perfectly moved enough for it to get through. My favorite part was they were screaming like that was going to change anything. They just watched their entire family get fucking murked. Why would anybody want to help them? Like, these dudes have guns. That's insane. I love the fact that this is, of course, a classic case of never double tapping to make sure the body's dead, because you just make the assumption that this explosion that launched him into the water was good enough.
Okay, but not only did that launch him, it gently threw him into the water. Like, he didn't go flying. He didn't get his face all burnt up from the explosion or anything. It was just like, and then he was in the water.
Yeah, that's what made it so cool, though.
It looked cool. So wait, are you saying that the Punisher has superpowers?
Yeah, he's just resilient as fuck. That's a.
I mean, he does get shot in the chest, point blank,
right there. Yeah, and then survive the explosion, and then gets so much other shit happened to him. I don't know,
But they took this scene. They took the scene, and then they put it in the Born Supremacy movie, and they did it 100 times better.
God, I haven't seen Born Supremacy in forever.
Oh shit!
Where he gets shot in the chest and he goes down in the river, and then then it's like Moby plays, and then it's like, oh wait, he's actually still alive.
That's just okay. Hold on, that's just the Bourne movies. Calm down there, Colin.
Okay, to go back to the beginning though. He is not actually the reason why his son got murdered. Why Saint's family got I also love that is the excuse, because they're just saying that all to cover their ass of just oh yeah, he's the reason. He wasn't the reason. He didn't even pull a trigger. He didn't do anything.
No, he got shot way before that kid got shot.
Yeah, so I was
but it was his deal that he set up, and then the kid brought a gun when he shouldn't have brought a gun, I guess. And then he's the dumbass that pointed at the Russian mob or whatever.
But he was so close to retirement.
He was so close to retirement.
He was so close.
He ain't got time for this shit.
The shootout at the family picnic was great. When she leaves in the fucking Suburban, after she tells the kid it's a Jeep, and then that boat stays on that trailer through that whole fucking thing. Okay, having been around, boats and trailers and shit like that for a lot, that's impressive. That is really fucking impressive. That thing should have been in the fucking red truck after the first bump they went over. Like, there's just no fucking chance, and that would have been really cool, also. But anyways,
wow. I guess you could say that the ball on that hitch is held on really well.
no, the boat staying on the trailer itself.
Yeah, they probably, I mean, you could tie it down. It had to have been tied down if it was bouncing around like that.
Sure.
Industrial grade straps, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying.
It's actually not
back there.
It's actually not a boat in a trailer. It's just a trailer that looks like a boat, and it's actually like a storage trailer. You know.
I mean, that's probably it too. I did. So I did have written down, going again back to the beginning, that I didn't like his hair. His hair looked terrible because I thought it was a wig. Apparently, that was actually his actual hair. He had
that was a very
grow
2004
out.
look.
Well, I think he had just had a movie.
Was he trying to be Zaz or something?
He just got done with the movie, and it's like he got this role, and he's like, "I'm gonna grow it up for this specific scene." And then
so
they cut it
his
all
hair
off.
was really long in that scene, and then his hair gets short. And then I don't know if you noticed, but at the very end, when he's like contemplating blowing his brains out, his hair is long again, like it was in the scene when it was blonde, just like randomly.
I don't think it wasn't as long.
I don't know. It
he
definitely
had like long for the blonde, but like it was probably as short as either one of your, maybe Ron. No, Ron's got long hair. Maybe yeah, I know.
No, his hair was long and shaggy when he was like putting the gun underneath his face and stuff. Yeah, it was dark again. It looked like it had been dyed.
Like he was just like sitting there.
His hair was not that long through all the. When he fought the Russian, it wasn't.
It's like a time period afterwards where it's like, oh, I've let myself go because I hate my life at this point.
He just got done blowing up 14 cars prior, like a half hour before that. I don't think so.
It wasn't that long because
his hair was short.
Like literally 10 minutes later, he's like, "Hey, there's something in the," or no. Yeah, he said to, oh, what's her name? Jane. Rebecca Romaine's character.
Yeah.
Who
wears the same dress almost the entire movie.
Apparently, she chose. Well, she was a waitress, so she had to wear. Actually, that dress,
the blue sundress.
That's because that whole like majority of the time that they showed her in that dress was that like hours of whatever, and not like days. It was the same day, basically.
Was it?
But apparently, she wore a lot of blue to pay homage to her character as Mystique, which I find dumb, but okay.
I don't know. She's hot. She can get away with it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, she's one of the reasons.
Unless there was going to be a
Mystique,
specifically a Mystique crossover, that's dumb. But
there were four other reasons I could think of, Joey, that I saw in there. But
for library,
we'll get to that when we do the boob count later.
What's her boobs?
What? I said they're. Okay, I said she was one of the main reasons I watched the Librarians TV show.
Oh, the Librarian! I thought you said that you watched this again. And I was like,
oh no, no, I watched this again because I liked the movie, but she's a bonus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she's alright.
I like her.
Yeah, she's alright. She was never really my cup of tea, but she's alright.
That's fair.
So anyway, so it blows up, and then the one that because of course the one minority in the 2004 movie has to be a witch doctor specifically.
There were two. His ex-partner was a minority.
Hey,
yeah, kind of.
Not only is a witch doctor, but he tells him that he needs to go with God. So I mean, like
a religious witch doctor. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that tracks. That's usually the case.
Did you guys
also love? Oh, I also love that the way that they explain how he gets the symbol is because his kid found a souvenir shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was a little cringy.
A sign of protection. Really? This one is? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't in love with that, but it's fine.
You have to explain it somehow, though. I mean,
I just spilled paint on a blue or a black shirt and be like, oh, it looks like a skull. That works.
See, I mean, that's how
all
they
the
explain
all the blood that was spilled, like they did in season 2. You know what I mean? Like, just perfectly makes a skull.
I believe it. But speaking of the family getting blown up and killed off and everything, did anybody notice when Frank shot the propane tank at that one guy and he blew up and flew back? That he had a Michael Myers mask on.
Is that what it was? I just figured it was a
yeah, I thought it was a stuntman mask.
It was like a dummy's face.
It looked so much like Michael Myers, which obviously is William Shatner, but like I just thought that was hilarious. I couldn't find anything in IMDb to say otherwise. But
yeah, I think it's just the mask that they wear when people get lit on fire, so they don't burn their face.
I just think it's a good thing that his dad moved out of New York, so he quit getting attacked by sharks, and then he moved to Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It was filmed in Florida.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know there was so many witch doctors in Puerto Rico.
Well, you know. Also, there's some sloppy police work when the newspaper that was given to, I can't remember the one guy's name, the lackey of Saint,
Mickey or whatever.
Mickey, I think is right. Give it to him. Who? Duac? What?
Yeah, Mickey Duac.
Ah, okay.
Duca.
Mickey's fine. They gave him the newspaper and he reads it and it says ex-cop Frank Castle dead, found dead. But I'm like,
they didn't find him anyway.
Body? How you didn't find the body and you have a grave for him, didn't have a body. I don't know.
Well, the rest of his family died, so they just go, "Hey,
I think he just assumed
dead too."
Yeah, he has to. Or
I mean, to be fair, they blew up a house.
Well, but yes, but like the whole family's dead and he's missing. Most cops think he's the killer. It's always some family member.
Except for, I mean, if you actually, but you got to think about it though. There were also like 45 different kinds of weapons. Oh, that's true. He was a cop, so they would have covered for him anyways.
So they're not gonna bury.
That's true.
Technically, he was FBI. He wasn't a cop.
No, I'm pretty sure he was a cop.
No, it was FBI.
He's a narc. He was a narc regardless.
He was working with the New York City cops. He was an FBI.
Yeah, they're all New York City cops.
Shield protects Shield.
They do. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, no, most of the time actually.
This isn't CIA.
I will say I did love the popsicle scene with Mickey.
Yes, that is great. That was freaking hilarious.
Colin thinks otherwise.
Yes, he does. Looks like he's got a headache. You not like it?
I mean, it's all enjoyable,
but
you know, I think it just gets goofy. It's so laughably silly sometimes when it like just throws in those moments. But I mean, like this is what like the mouse does to these movies, even though it's not in the time of the mouse.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is 2004, sir.
I know, but it's like when they try to throw in these comedy moments, I hate it. Just
like when he's fighting the Russian and the Russian bats the grenade back into the bathroom.
Don't you jump ahead. All right, we have a lot to talk about when it comes about the Russian. So the interrogation scene. Originally, I was like, well, this isn't very Frank Castle of him. And there's a couple of moments where I'm just like, well, this isn't very Frank Castle of him. But you kind of like have to remember that if they are drawing from like any sort of comics in that time, this is the era where like Wolverine versus Punisher was happening a lot, where they were kind of making him goofy. Like it was like this was like right around the time when like he would have ran over Wolverine with a steamroller and pinned him underneath it and then just walked away. And then the reverse of it was Wolverine beats the shit out of him and then finds a bunch of like male bodybuilder magazines because they were all suspects for something, and Wolverine makes a bunch of like homophobic jokes about it and stuff. It's weird. It's a weird time if that's what they're basing this off of. But my brain started to think like, actually, this is a little Frank Castle-y because he needs he needs what's his nuts.
Mickey.
So yeah, he needs him to trust him. So he's going to psychologically abuse him, but he's not going to physically abuse him because he can't show up with like a bunch of like burn marks on him and things like that and like looking like he got the shit kicked out of him because that's going to start asking questions. Was this done a little slapsticky? Yes, but I think the intent actually does make sense.
Like the castle in comic books is like the guy from No Country for Old Men. Like he would take that cow prod thing and like put it through your hand.
But are you thinking of, like Chuck said, 2000 era? Because around 2006 or 7, maybe 8, is when they started the Marvel Knights line. And then like Punisher, Daredevil, I think Elektra, that's when they started being like serious. And they actually took those characters into a darker tone.
Not only that, but you have to remember there was a Punisher Max series as well, which was very violent and very like edgy and very well known. And Punisher does kind of bounce around.
And that was that was drawn. Who's the giant chest?
Rob Liefeld.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't like Liefeld. Kind of left. He left Marvel in the 90s to jump on to Image. to start Image up. He would come back from time to time to Marvel, but like never enough to be like. I think if anything, he was usually working on Deadpool or
anybody like that dude. I feel like there's nothing.
I think he's kind of
hatred.
I'm not gonna say I like him, but like he's not.
It's funny because it's like his imagery for his comic books is gonna be remembered through history on how extreme it was.
The man can't draw feet
or hands.
His writing isn't bad. Like he did
or chests.
I mean, it depends on what you think of a chest looks like, because sometimes you know people like.
He can draw the hell out of a pouch, though. Let me tell you, he's great at pouches.
But this is also two of my favorite scenes of Punisher ever in comics. The first one is during Civil War, which happened in like the early 2010s, give or take. I can't exactly remember.
Yeah, I was still in high school, so
it
would have been like 05.
He breaks down to Spider-Man.
No, when the two villains show up on Cap's team because Cap needs to have these villains, I guess, and Punisher just murks both of them right in front of him, and it's like we're not siding with these assholes. Like we're not going that low, and then Cap like kicks his ass and basically tells him, you know, draw your weapons, do it. And Punisher's like, no, never to you. Like he has morals, and the morals is never working with bad guys.
Well, he respects Cap more than anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's when he shot like Toy Man or something, and Jack-o'-lantern.
Jack-o'-lantern was one of them. I don't remember who the other guy was, but yeah, like they show up and Cap's like, we have to use these guys, and Punisher's like, fuck no, we don't, and just pops them both and kills them both right there and then. The second one, and this went around a lot last couple of years, is literally Punisher telling the cops, "You do not look up to me," and as he rips off the skull that they put it on their cop car, it's like, I'm not somebody to look up to. I'm not an idol. You want an idol? It's Captain America. Go follow him. You should not be idolizing me. I do something you guys shouldn't be doing. So like those are the two comic book scenes I remember most about that.
I think more cops need to read that scene.
Well, that's the problem. Well, a lot more people need to read that scene instead of.
They had to go so far as to literally change the skull. So like,
which is so fucking stupid. Yeah. Anyway,
it's super weird you didn't say Stiltman getting shot in the dick with a rocket launcher isn't your favorite scene you've ever seen.
I haven't read that. I haven't read that one yet.
Oh, dude, it's so good. He shoots him right in the dick with a rocket launcher, man.
But but that's the thing. Like, you've got these serious moments with Punisher, which work. You got these jokey moments with Punisher, which sometimes works. Which is why I like this scene. This popsicle. That's just my justification of liking this popsicle.
Jesus Christ! A 45-minute fucking rant to justify your liking of the popsicle scene.
It was 5. Fuck off.
So let me tell you about this scene where John Travolta's smoking a pipe that's not lit, and why that correlates with the character that he plays in the comic book.
I will say this.
Joke's on you. Howard Saint was never a character in the movie in the Punisher universe.
He was based off of somebody. I can't remember who though.
They said, yeah, I don't remember.
I thought we said it was Nicolas Cage he was based off of.
Oh, my bad. I will say this.
Based off of like one of the crime families in Punisher, they literally changed his name so they could name the fucking club Sinners and Saints. Literally, that's why they changed his name.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's dumb. They could have just named it that anyways.
They could have, but
because it had to make sense.
Yeah,
that's not true.
But I mean, like, I think Sinners and Saints actually became a real club. It's
in the comics.
Pete Wentz of Fall Out Boy, like he's got a Sinners and Saints club in Chicago. Yeah,
nice.
But he's a big fan of the movie.
I know, Colin. You said you didn't like John Travolta's acting in this one. It wasn't the greatest.
It was garbage.
But I mean, I'm also wondering if like I'm not going to sit here and say like Battlefield Earth is what got him this role, or Phenomenon.
I don't think Battlefield Earth got him anything, dude. What are you talking about?
I don't know why he got this role, but I didn't hate him
because they needed to put a name on it.
Yeah, and they're like, he's the biggest actor that we can get right now.
Yeah, but Thomas Jane still is over him in the
Thomas Jane was not that popular at this point. This was his breakout role.
Is still known for his Punisher role is like the biggest role.
I mean, did you guys anybody watch The Expanse? No. On it was on Sci-Fi for a long time. He's in that. I actually enjoyed him in that.
What else has he been in though?
Yep.
He's in The Mist, which is he does a phenomenal job in that.
The best feel good movie you can watch.
God, dude, for the longest time, every time I watched that movie, I would like call my ex-wife just to see how my daughter was. Just every time I got to the end of that movie.
Oh wait, that's the one where he fucking bullets his kid right before everybody gets saved.
Yep.
Yeah,
well, he bullets everybody. He murks everybody.
Kills everybody, and then he's trying to once again. Thomas Jane loves to take roles where he has to kill himself, but then doesn't. Like it seems like a weird typecast for him, but here he is.
I mean,
he also, I think, isn't he in Hung? It was like an HBO or a show.
Yeah, just got there. I don't know the TV series. I don't know.
Yeah, he was. He was the main character.
It was like a big deal.
Oh yeah, he was in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. For he was a vegan police.
Yeah,
he was the vegan police. Yeah, he has a little cameo. That was fun.
Yeah. The Mist. Yep. The Gun, Punisher, Arrested Development. The Sweetest Dreams. I remember that.
That's like saying Thomas Jane is as big as Casper Van Dyne from Starship Troopers.
I'll allow that. I'll say that. I'll allow it. That's fair.
Oh yeah, he was in Face Off. I forgot he was in Face Off. He was.
Oh yeah, so he probably put in a good word for Travolta. That's probably what it was.
Please, I need you.
He was in one of the
I love the idea that
in the prison.
I would love the idea of instead it was Travolta begging him to get a role. He's like, "Hey, can you give me on it? I really need the money."
I heard you guys are doing comic book movies. Here's the next big thing.
Did you see that Daredevil movie? It was so good.
Apparently, this movie made a ton of money.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Yeah, all the cops went to watch it.
Probably.
Not wrong.
They could not agree on the script for the next movie, and that's why it fell apart.
That makes sense.
So.
Well, I mean, it also.
So what are you talking about? The Punisher became racist and beat up a bunch of black guys outside of a laundromat. Wasn't that the second movie?
No. That one was in 2012. Apparently, that was just somebody trying to keep the character. I was gonna say relevant, but that's not really. Didn't really need it in 2012. Just keep the character going, and they asked Thomas Jane to be in it. He's like, yeah, sure. I love playing this character. I would like to play it every chance I get.
But how'd they get Ron Perlman involved in it?
Because Ron Perlman just jumps on set anytime he can.
Ron Perlman secretly has like so much fuck money he doesn't even care anymore that he'll just do whatever role you ask him to. As long as he gets to wear tiny little sunglasses, that's all he cares about. I don't know if you noticed, he wears tiny little sunglasses in almost every role he plays.
That's how he got on the Pacific Rim movie. He just showed up on set and was like, "I'll be a part of this."
he didn't have tiny little sunglasses in the Hellboy movies.
That's because he's in 7 hours of makeup.
Yeah, well, he still wear.
I feel like he still had sunglasses that were smaller than his head, like smaller than the size that he's supposed to wear.
We'll get there in a bit, so we can see then.
That should be coming up soon, shouldn't it?
God, no. We're only in the 90s for the other. That's like 2000 and something.
Maybe we need to catch up on the other movies then, so that they're around the same time frame.
Maybe.
I don't want to do that.
He robs a bank at gunpoint. Takes only a little bit of money. Everybody's just willing to do what he needs to do, and then he just throws the money out the window.
No, he doesn't. He has those guys, and they're at a bank. They're at a fucking money laundering service.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Whatever.
It's Saint's house or hotel or whatever that they've got a whole floor where they.
1 second, guys.
You're good. Where they laundry money everywhere.
It's just laundry money.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, I get it. You think it would be a bunch of quarters, but whatever. Fine.
Speaking of quarters, there's no way that handful of change he had was enough to get that fucking laundromat machine started in the little skit.
Well, in depending where he was at, we don't know exactly where he was at.
It was 2012.
Even in 2012, it would have cost over $1.
Depending on the location.
Dude, it was $1.50 for the ones in fucking Bluffton.
Yeah,
Bluffton had I did not derail this episode.
Big population.
I was trying to bring it back.
You can bring it back.
Anyway, so I know I'm actually excited about talking about the fucking movie. So he so he goes, he pushes all the fucking money out, right? And I was like, oh, there goes all my money. And then we have Saint having to explain to these dudes, like, oh, we're so sorry. Like, which is, I love the idea that he's mad at Quentin because he was like, yeah, well, they're coming. He's like, you bringing them here? What are you, stupid? Like that. What was the intention? What did you want? They were going to show up anyway. They're pissed. They just lost all their shipment money.
Well, he was going to meet them. However much it was, that shit.
$50 million or something.
Like he was going to have them meet somewhere else so that he can then come up with a good cover story of what happened. Which that's not. No.
So then he goes back to his weird ass fucking apartment that is apparently a warehouse from the outside, but inside is like some apartments that look like it would be like downtown somewhere. But he's like,
that's actually a normal thing, believe it or not.
Yeah, I know it's Detroit. But it was just like weird. Florida.
I'd say we have that here in Indiana. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
It's Detroit.
I think the weird thing is that the whole like garage area in the on the first floor, but then the rooms are on the second, and they just look terrible. I don't know how the rooms are laid out.
See, like, Joey, the thing about it is the garage has to be on the first floor because it's really hard to get the cars up the stairs.
No, but I would have said what I'm saying. You can try. People have tried.
It's like every house that you see that's newly built at a lake now. It's just all a garage, so they can put all their toys in it, and then they live in like that one room behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I just expected more of how big that warehouse was. Building.
That there was only 4 people living in it.
That, and I expected more on the ground floor is all. That's all.
I mean, there were other doors, and I guess the idea is like it was kind of just in the middle of nowhere, so nobody wanted to live there except for degenerates. I don't know. It was confusing.
It's Paper Street.
But
Paper Street.
He was
furniture.
He was working on my dream car though
the entire time.
Oh,
well, not the entire time. There's a little bit at the towards the end where he definitely destroys your dream car.
Yeah, he with extreme prejudice at that point. But actually, there's a lot of cars I fell in love with in this movie. And then they're just like real pissed or whatever. And is this sending the special from Nashville?
Yeah.
The I ordered Johnny Cash off Wish guy.
I think it's Timu now.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, it is. Oh, where was it? That they had to change the name because in the comics, that guy is named Harry Heck Thornton. So they just called him Harry Heck because they didn't want people to get confused with Billy Bob Thornton. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds
that's
about
just
right.
Because they look just alike.
Well, they actually do a really good job of like casting the characters from like the comic into the movie. Because like he does look like Harry Heck at least a little bit, and Harry Heck is supposed to be like based off of Johnny Cash. And like the other two dudes, Bippo and Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look almost identical to the characters that they're supposed to. Rebecca Stamos' character, I think they just made, if I remember correctly, because Frank Castle's never really had a love interest. That's kind of the whole point of his goddamn character.
We saw her get run over by a truck. He definitely had a love interest for a little bit there.
Right. I mean, after they create his fucking origin story, that's like the whole.
No, you're right.
The whole thing.
Definitely felt like they were trying to push a love story there, or maybe not a love story, but like you can maybe call it a lust story because she knew going in. She even said that like I make bad decisions with men, and I know she didn't really know what Frank's deal was, but her two choices were, what's his name, Angel and Bumpo, which I can't remember the actual guy. I know he passed away not too long ago. Well, about a decade ago. But God, what was his name?
I don't know.
Help me out.
I give up. What was it?
He kind of looks like the dude who does the mukbang stuff. So
I can't look it up because I'm on my phone. Sorry, bud.
You guys.
If you don't know what a mukbang is, it's when you order a bunch of food from one fast food restaurant and then record yourself eating it.
It's more than that.
John Panette. John Panette.
But
that sounds terrible.
John Panette? No, he was really good. He was a really good actor. What are you talking about?
No, I meant the ordering everything off of a fast food menu and then eating it.
Yeah, and then they usually forget your sauce and you have to throw a temper tantrum. It's like a whole thing.
That's just Nicky Avocado or whatever his name is.
That's true. He looks a lot like. I was obsessed with Harry Heck. I thought he was like the coolest dude. That song that he sings was on the soundtrack as like a bonus track. Love that they included that.
I enjoyed when he sits down, he starts to open up his guitar case. And the first thing Frank does is go reach back for his gun.
Well, like,
this man has seen Desperado. He knows what's going on.
Well, not only, oh man, I love that scene. The most ridiculous like leg stretch as he flips that. Yeah. Anyway, what I love actually, what was the coolest fucking part about that is he goes Heck like lights a cigarette and then reaches with like between his pinky and his like ring finger and then takes it out. I thought that was the coolest fucking thing I'd ever said. It made me want to start smoking. That's how cool it was.
And that's how they
I could just do that, and then I could like do this, and then like do something.
Had you never really seen somebody do that prior to that?
I had never seen anybody do that except for maybe in the movie Cry Baby.
Have you never played cards with somebody that's smoking and they're going to shuffle and they're like, oh, hold on a second, and then they pull out and they shuffle the cards and then like.
No, I've never actually seen that. Yeah.
I'm actually allergic to cigarette smoke, so I can't actually be around people.
The whole thing, you got to remember during the scene, they're in that diner, and it's just Harry Heck and Castle with straight up just looking at each other the entire time. Yeah. They're in full on male.
It is so sexual. It's so sexual. They're just like they're about to fuck. Like, and then he proceeds to literally try to ram him in the ass.
I know.
So yeah.
Yeah, but Frank's the one that sticks it in his throat at the end.
Oh my god! I do know how often. Like, I know that is not. That was the first time I had ever heard the "you dumb son of a bitch who brings a knife to a gunfight." That was the first time I had ever heard that. So that blew my mind. And then it's just like a stiletto like launch knife. Oh my God. I lost my mind. It was awesome. It's the coolest scene ever because we have this like dope car chase scene where they finally like they're paying shit off, right? Like Frank was enforcing this car for like reinforcing it for some reason. And we weren't really sure why or why it was going to pay off. And then it pays off. And it's like in spur of the moment where he had to drop him, like he has to pull and drop it down even. Like, oh, this dude is just unloading. I don't even know what this is. A grenade shotgun? I don't know what it was, but it was dope as fuck. And he's just like pumping shots into it, wrecking this car. Oh, so good. So good. And then and this is what I love about the movie, right? The people that they send after Frank legitimately should be able to kill him. Like they are trained assassins and murderers. And he just happens to, through like a system of ropes and pulleys like Wile E. Coyote, be able to just survive enough by doing the stupidest little thing that like changes everything.
Well, until the Russian shows up.
Oh my God, don't get me started on the Russian. I love the Russian, but that's my favorite scene ever. Oh, it's Kevin Nash.
So IMDb
before
trivia.
we get to the Russian,
yes,
there's this really important part where Frank Castle drinks so much booze that he made my vision go blurry.
I would love to know if this movie was actually sponsored by Wild Turkey prior to them knowing how much he was actually going to be drinking in the movie. I like that he like, and this is where he gets a little slapsticky too, where he like takes the glass out, puts it on the table, then spins the cap and just drinks out of the bottle before he gets invited.
You gotta taste it before you put it in the
cup. He thought about doing it civilized, and he's like, "Why the fuck am I doing this? Nobody's here to impress."
Yeah, that's true.
Good times. IMDb says that during the scene when Wrecker Remain is sewing him up, Jane's sewing up Frank, she actually went a little too deep in the prosthetic and actually poked him with the needle.
Nice.
Ow.
Oh, well, I mean, if we're gonna talk about
getting stabbed in this film,
there's a scene coming up where somebody else gets stabbed in real life.
It's the dopest thing. Oh my God! So
Chuck's been waiting for this since we talked about the movie.
It's funny because I was looking for. I think I was just trying to find the free version of this movie on YouTube, and I found the clip of Kevin Nash talking about that he legitimately gets stabbed by Thomas Jane in this movie.
Yes,
and they use the footage of it. The part where they stab him, where he stabs him, he smiles and sells it. And they kept it because it was like that good. Because he's a goddamn professional. You understand me? Well, that's why you hire pro wrestlers to act in everything, because they're professionals. Oh my God!
Chuck,
so anyway,
hold on. Do you want to know what his compensation was for that stab?
They bought him beer.
Yep. From the crew.
Because you know why? Because that's all he needs. He at this point he was still riding high off WCW money. He don't need shit. He just wants some beer. That's all he wants.
This is another scene I love. Just the Russian coming in, just wrecking house. Frank, we saw him, like you said earlier, we saw him prepare his room for this situation, and literally everything he does, everything he pulls out, everything he brings up, nothing works.
Well, I mean, like, the guy's 2 feet taller than Frank is at this point.
Yeah, but Thomas Jane's only like 5'5", so I mean, that's not really all that tall.
That's true. He did wear lifts. He wore lifts, and because this was 2004, he also had bootcut jeans on the entire time, which just really, I don't know why. It was just like a look. It was a look that he chose, and I was kind of here for it. But yeah, so Howard's pissed. And Saint's like, send in the Russian. And I remember originally watching this, not knowing that the Russian was getting played by Kevin Nash, because I didn't I don't even think I had internet.
He sends in the Russian because he blows up the second shipment of money.
Correct.
On the boat, which I got really confused of how he was able to get the Claymore in there without anybody seeing him.
Well, the kid does notice. Like, the kid the money.
Yes, but that's like the money, the claymores in like the middle stack of like 8 rows. Again, how?
He rolled a nat 20, obviously.
Yeah,
Okay, apparently.
Because he's
bad.
Frank
Sorry.
fucking
he's just
Castle.
getting it
That's
done.
why.
But anyway, so yeah, the Russian shows up. Kevin
The
Nash
Russian shows up, and we proceed to have actually legitimately a Yoda versus Palpatine level storytelling here of 2 dudes beating the absolute fucking bricks off each other.
That everybody.
It's actually more like one dude beating the bricks out of a other dude, while that dude
he hits him with a toilet through a wall.
Yeah.
It was so good. That was so good.
And that's how you know that Frank Castle has superpowers.
Yeah, it's so good. He tries to launch the tries to get the gun, can't get the gun, smashes, dents it. No, don't know why he doesn't just like pistol whip him with it, but whatever, fine. Like what
What would pistol whipping him do that? It would just make him like smile more.
Yeah, at least it might get his eye or something. Who knows? He's got to do something other than just stare at it like a defeated man that he is now. And then he gets like thrown into the bathroom and he tries to grab the grenade. And then it throws it and fucking home run.
He
nails it back.
He gets to the kitchen and he fucking takes that hand weight and bends a gun with human strength. Like human strength. I don't care.
He's the Russian.
But it didn't break the countertop.
No. Doesn't break the countertop. Just bends.
No, that was like a
gun.
steel countertop. It was like a workbench, wasn't it? I don't know.
No, it's
having hit things on
just like a countertop.
Was it? Yeah. Oh, okay. I just assumed everything in there was like a workbench.
Or at least reinforced. Maybe reinforced.
Yeah, it's industrial. Meanwhile, Dave and Boompo and Rebecca Romaine's character are all like singing Italian music. And they're like completely oblivious to the absolute destruction that is happening.
Even after the fucking grenade goes off.
Yeah, they're just. Did you hear that? Like that was a grenade it just went off in your apartment.
It stops the record from playing, and then it starts up again. It's like, oh, we're good. We got this.
Oh, I love it so much. It's so good. It's so comic booky. It's so slapsticky. Punisher running over Wolverine with a steamroller levels of like comedy, and I love it.
I don't understand that reference. Could you go back for another 35 minutes and explain it to us?
Yeah, okay. So Frank was like really pissed off at Logan for some reason and shot his face off and then rolled him over with a steamroller. That's pretty much the extent of it.
Okay, cool. So
shot his face off though. It was cool.
So obviously from here we get them out of the apartment into Dave's apartment, where obviously some more collateral damage happens. He gets a boiling pot of water thrown on his face.
Yeah.
Apparently that was supposed to be more gruesome. But I guess when they previewed that, critics were just like, yeah, it's a little much. So they had to.
I remember it being more gruesome when I saw it in theaters than the version that I saw it. Like I remember it being like grotesque and his face really like boiling and like.
I mean, it's boiling water. That should have been that way.
Yeah, and when I watched this version of it, it did not feel like it was all that graphic as I remember it.
Are you just desensitized now to movie violence?
That's possible too.
Yeah, probably. Yo, I'm desensitized by violence because of our group chat. That's what I'm actually desensitized about. Regularly seeing people get dismembered in the group chat. Kind of like
fair.
Yeah.
Oof,
but you got to admit, the dude that fucking flies off the car and hits the stop sign, like that's like,
yeah,
not part of this movie. So let's continue on with the movie.
That's good stuff,
yes.
though.
Let me check my notes real quick.
Okay, so we haven't really talked about what Frank's plot against the Saints was, and it was basically he's trying to get all the intel. You know, Mickey's giving him insider information, and he basically sets it up so that Saint kills his own people.
Yeah, that was great. Like, if that dude knew anything at all about what was actually going on in his household, none of that shit would have ever happened. But because he was so oblivious to everything else that was going on, like, Frank was able to manipulate him into killing his best friend and his wife.
Which is very interesting, considering that he seemed to know everything. What Liv what his wife was doing. Like, I guess maybe he just got too. It became too routine for him or something. But like, I don't know.
I loved the idea that this was 2004, and the secret of his best friend being gay would be a reason for him to like fire him or kill him or something. Like it was, but it was his best friend. He didn't know he was gay.
Look,
really?
He didn't think it was gay when they were drunk and he would suck his dick. Okay, that was just bros being bros. All right.
Well, that's true. Good point. You make a good point.
When you're getting your piercings pulled out by pliers, you're just gonna say anything.
No. Wrong.
No, that was Dave.
That was Dave.
Oh wait, yeah.
Although Quentin did enjoy what it seemed like when he was like pulling on it, and I was just like, "Oh, again, this is so sexual." But okay.
Apparently, those two, Will Patton and the guy who played Dave, can't remember his name now. They improvised a lot of those lines, a lot of those scenes.
All the eye contact.
The first, what was it?
The eyebrow.
One of them was a prosthetic. One of them was actually one of them was real. The rest were prosthetics.
Probably the eyebrow, because it actually you see him actually like pull on it.
Well, I mean, they can have glue for that, but I can't remember what. But yeah, they kind of just played off each other on how that scene was going to play out, and it worked out fairly well, I think.
I mean, it did legitimately feel like when they were like he was like girl slapping, sissy slapping to get him away, like that was real. Like he was like, I really don't want to do this scene anymore.
Yeah.
So, the implication that you're gonna pull this stuff out is like freaking me out. Like
that's because the dude that played the mafia guy actually was pulling out his piercing. See, had to make it fucking look good for the camera, man.
Well, that's why Nash got stabbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why they shot Thomas Jane. Oh.
No, that's in The Crow 3 you're thinking of. We'll get there.
Are there 3 Crow movies? Holy shit.
Yeah, and he's in the third. He's the third one.
I thought it was the second one.
Is he the second one? I don't remember. Yeah. He's in one of them. I don't remember. No. It's 3 Saints Crow, I believe is what it's called.
No.
There's City of Angels and there's Saints Crow.
I think it's the Crow, City of Angels, and God damn it. Okay.
Saints Crow. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. That's a good joke.
I got it. It took me a second. I will say this though. I enjoyed this little line when the son is talking to his dad when his dad comes back after killing his best friend and his wife. And is like, hey, I tried to call the house earlier and nobody answered. He's like, yeah, Quentin's wrapped up in something. Oh, and your mother's gone. She took the train.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite thing, the John Travolta, like, I'm so stressed out when he pushes his hair back. Like every time he's just like, he's that's how you know that John Travolta's stressed out, is he's got to slick his hair back.
Or when he's doing like the weird face thing where he's like his eyes are darting around and he's doing like a puppy lip, just like that. Like when he was like fake smoking the pipe, and then he does it again when he's like mad at his wife, and when he's telling the story to Quentin about how they would settle if somebody thought he was stealing from him, and like, you got too much furniture, and like he's kicking everything around. He's doing the weird pouty face. Yeah, good times.
That was another scene that was pretty sexually intense right there.
100%.
When John Travolta was shoving 6 inches into his gut. Yeah.
Well, it was John Travolta.
The sun getting blown up was kind of fun.
I did like that. I like that, but also kind of stupid because he literally could have taken Frank out right then and there. He knew that he's gonna die. He knew he was gonna lose. So why not just kill Frank in the process and just blow him up the second you put the thing in your hand, drop it before Frank can get out?
Because we already established Frank can't be killed.
And he probably had enough hubris to think
took the vest off. He already took the vest off.
No, he didn't take the vest off until
he did. He takes it off and hangs it there because as he's walking out, you see the vest and the kid holding his arm up.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
So he can be killed at that point.
He could have been.
He had no protection.
No, that kid already knew that he got shot in the chest and got exploded and didn't die, so he was too afraid.
Shot him. Anyway, I think it's just his Hilton hubris that's like, I think I can still get out of this. I think I got this. I just need some help. Somebody help me. And obviously, everybody's dead. No one can help him. I think he was legitimately thinking that there was somebody alive who would get him out. But obviously, it didn't work.
I don't know. His arm was pretty fucked up. Like, I would have just fucking called it a day. I also, as I'm thinking about it, the other thing that doesn't hold up for me, I did think that the spray painted skull on the vest looked cool when I was in like 2004. It looks like bird shit now. Like going back and looking, I go, why did a bird shit a skull onto his chest? Because that's what it looks like.
That's his other superpower.
Oh, is it?
Calling on birds.
Bird shit? Yeah.
Talk to birds.
Hey, as Joey can attest to, birds shitting on your enemies in combat can be helpful.
That is true. Very true. It's helped me out a lot.
But the club fight. The club fight
was cool.
I mean, anytime you enter an area and you're like, it's like what's the video game? The one where you're trapped on the island and you have to take, like, the boss is like some
Far Cry? No.
Far Cry, yeah, the Far Cry games. Like when you're fighting with the bow and arrow, like taking out like goons before you fight any like the main guys. Him going in with the bow and arrow, taking out like the handful of dudes without anybody knowing. He's like putting C4 all over the place.
Yeah.
That's good fun action.
It's good. I'm the one going. I mean, I there's a show I watch called Ghosts on CBS, and one of the guys in there has got an arrow through his neck. And so like when the one guy gets an arrow shot through his neck, I'm like, oh god, that's probably itches a little bit. Ugh. That's what I've been told on the show. Anyway,
yeah, I mean he was like super dead, so probably.
Yeah.
Look, so is the guy on Ghosts. He's dead too, but he's a ghost.
I did appreciate the artistry of taking the amount of time it would have taken to set all those cars up to explode, so it did make a skull at the end.
It makes no sense. It's so dumb.
It doesn't make any sense, especially when all the cars blow up anyway.
I love it.
That's because he saw Daredevil do it with lighter fluid and he wanted to do it better.
True. That is true.
Maybe.
Despite the fact that I don't think this was
but I have to say that the fight between John Travolta and the Punisher was really anticlimactic. Exactly. Although the dude running out the door prior to that and getting blown up by the bomb that he had planted on the door was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, but it doesn't like it kind of makes sense because like the fight is him taking out everybody else. Saint wasn't a fighter. That's the whole thing. He was like the mob. He was like the crime lord, and he had everybody else do his dirty work for him. But we do know that he can handle his own shit because he fights Quentin. He was able to kill Quentin.
Well, yeah, but Quentin
didn't fight back.
Yeah,
could have.
He's like, I love you. Why are you doing this to me, man? I thought we were bros.
Yeah, I don't understand why he wouldn't at least try. It was weird. Again.
How can you fight
opportunity?
Your boss?
Because Quentin was a bottom, dude. Obviously.
And there you go.
It could have been a power bottom, though.
Yeah, he was. He was taking that like a fucking champ. Oh.
So I will say one thing that was not resolved, that's actually resolved in the extended cut and in the novelization, is how the Saints got the information on Frank. And that was from his partner. His partner apparently had a bunch of gambling debts, and there was a scene in the very beginning when he gives him when he gives Frank a watch, basically as like a remembrance of him. They talk about that for a quick second, which got cut from this movie. And then later on, Frank realizes it was his friend that sold him out, and goes and confronts him and basically kill him because,
Yeah, that's what you do.
Let me rephrase that. I don't know if he kills him or if the guy took his own life because he felt so bad. Regardless, Saints knew, like, they pushed on him because of his gambling debts, got the information they needed, and that's why this whole thing popped off. So I kind of wish they would have put that in the movie, honestly, because that's one thing that didn't get resolved, throughout just how they got the information. So,
okay.
Yeah, so like I assumed it was a crooked cop like situation.
Yeah, because 1, 3, 1, 2.
But I also feel like they could have like played that up more because it did feel like they were alluding a lot to the fact that like Saint probably had a lot of cops in his back pocket, and that's why he was able. Like they could have like literally summed it up with like one sentence of like get my people on the inside to give me this information.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they don't really. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
but we needed more dramatic edgelord scenes of him drinking alcohol. So,
but that's really all of my notes. Ron, I know you probably have a few more.
No, actually, we pretty much covered all mine, except for the fact that was his kid like supposed to be a lot younger than the actor portraying him, because he seemed like a little whiny bitch.
I don't know,
like because the kid looked like he was like 10 years old, but like he acted like a fucking 6-year-old. So
he broke
like Carl on the Walking Dead show compared to Carl in the comics.
Dude, yeah, comics is a fucking G. Anyway, Colin, do you have any more notes, or did you take any notes, or anything else you want to bring up?
I'm more like dirty laundry is more of my.
All right, we can talk some dirty laundry. Not a lot, because I mean it's only like a 12-minute thing, obviously. So
I appreciated what they were trying to do with it, like trying to make the character relevant again and kind of bring it back. It does feel more like it felt like more like a Max
Payne?
like a Max issue. Well, yeah, that too, because it was 2012. But it just feels like it does feel like more of like a Max like comic version of Punisher, which was like very like violent, and he's one note, very like edgelord. I'm gonna kill people. I don't give a shit. I have no rhyme or reason for really doing it, other than I'm just a guy who just wants to do harm to bad people. So I liked it. I thought it was good for a 12-minute clip.
I mean, like,
I don't know. It did take him 8 of those 10 minutes through 12 minutes to actually get into the fight. That lady had already gotten abused and violated. That kid had just about gotten violated. And the only reason why he went back out there is because some old white dude told him over a bottle of Yoo-Hoo that, nobody's doing anything about it, and those kids broke my legs. And he's like, oh, they hurt a white dude? Shit, I better get out there and fucking fight him now.
Well, it was 2012, so.
That was 2012.
He was also still trying to do his laundry.
That's true. Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you like have somebody take your shit out. You know what I mean? Like, because you weren't there, and then they just throw your shit in a pile on top of the machine. Because just like that would justify me just going rampage and shooting everybody on the on the block too.
Put it in the dryer. That's not their. It's not their laundry. They don't pay for
exactly. But now it's just wet and mildewy.
Yeah.
The one gang leader guy does get in his face though, so it's like,
yeah, he walks off. I also was, I'm not gonna say laughing, but like Frank beats his ass. I think he like shoots one of his knees, or both of his knees, I believe, and then he's out there crying for help. Like, really, dude? You literally like beat up everybody that's standing around watching you. You think any of them's gonna help you?
Well, yeah, or when he gets better, he's going to beat him up again.
Well, don't think he's going to get better.
I mean, having a rousing speech from Ron Perlman, who's not going to do something about that?
I would murder so many gang lords if Ron Perlman told me about how they broke his legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
somebody needs to do something about this.
Not me, because
I mean, I am a fan of hyperviolence. So I mean, The Raid and The Raid 2, like some of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. When it is fast-paced violence, like him grabbing that dude by the shirt and shooting him in the head, like it's quick, like quick. Like one of my favorite scenes in an action movie is in what's the third Batman movie with
Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. It's when Robin and his gang are outside. They're like getting ready to try to steal that one truck that's driving through. It's got the gun on it. The dude is on a platform. The truck comes running by. You see that guy run, and then he kicks that dude in the face that's mounted on the gun truck. Like, you know that truck's going 30 miles an hour, and that dude running, kicking that dude in the face, it's like that guy's dead. Like, it's a full kill on that.
Yeah, but so is that dude's leg.
I was gonna say that's like a V. Morganson level of breaking his foot when he kicks the pot.
Make sure to put that on the kill count when we get to that movie.
But,
oh, that's gonna be so high. Are you kidding me? He might beat his own record at that point.
Would he though? Because it's still Batman being Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
it's no Batman versus Superman.
So we have a weird rule here that these two made up.
It's your rule.
I've just agreed to it.
Actually, it's the law of physics.
It's true.
I think. Yeah.
It's the law of movie physics.
I brought up this rule to both my girlfriend and her kid, and they're both like, "That's stupid."
They're stupid. So there you go. See, fix that problem.
Anyway, the rule is 1 attack, 1 kill. So if you take like a machine gun and spray and kill 6 people, it's 1 kill. But if you individually shoot them, because that's 6 attacks, you're
okay. Look. Joey is making this too complicated.
No.
When the Death Star destroys Alderaan, that's only one kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
One
singular attack. One singular attack. Which actually the machine gun actually would be each individual kill. If that bullet killed more than one person, it's 1 kill.
He's pulling the trigger. He's pulling.
I think we established. No, I'm pretty sure we established that it had to be each individual. Like
we never brought up a bullet. The machine gun rule before.
So you're saying Fat Man and Little Boy were 2 attacks?
Yes.
Yep. 1 kill each.
Yep.
Yep. Exactly.
But only if it happens in a movie. So like,
this was originally established. Yeah. This was originally established in Lord of the Rings. Gimli tells Legolas it's only 1 kill because he took down the elephant. Everybody that was on the elephant doesn't count. It was only 1 attack. This is already established in canonical information movies.
But that is because they only see the 1 death. The elephant dies, but
I don't see anybody die on Alderaan.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just saw a planet blow up. I don't know. They could have evacuated everybody. You know what I mean? When we get to Man of Steel, are we supposed to just assume the entire planet except Superman dies? I don't think so.
Yeah, the planet definitely just got 1 kill for that.
Yeah, 1 kill for that. That's it.
But luckily, there's a lot of kills before that, so we'll worry about that. Chuck, you got anything else?
This movie's rad as fuck. That's all I got. Complete nostalgia.
Let's go ahead into our ending here. We're starting out with kill count. I got a total of 45.
Still not as much as fucking Batman.
Yeah,
not as much as Batman for a guy who prides himself on murdering people. And he didn't do.
Well, here's the other thing. There really wasn't a lot of multiple kills. The family massacre was a little sketchy at times. There was a couple of them there, but like the casino scene or the bar scene, it's all 1 attacks every single time, which is great.
Yeah, I will say real quick, because it's always bothered me, and it just popped in my brain when you did that. There's a dude during the family massacre scene that tries to get on a motorbike It gets like maybe 20 feet and then gets mowed down. What was his plan there? Why would he check his back?
He should have zigged when he zagged, see?
Well, the plan was, I gotta get this motorcycle over here so that Frank can hop on it later.
If they scratch my dad's motorcycle, my dad will kill me.
Yeah. For sure your dad's dead, kid. Ron, what you got for bingo?
We don't get a spawn cape on this one?
You do bingo
It goes
first.
after the bingo.
Does it? Fuck, dude, I don't know. I wait. Do I do the boob count before or after the bingo?
You do boob count after.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Ron's not drunk enough for this episode. Sorry, everybody.
Like, what the hell did I come into? Why did I agree?
All right. So we have an ID reveal to a villain, an origin reveal, product placement, betrayal by a friend, dead parents, government interference, comic logic, hero kills, sexual innuendos, nudity, and hero designs costume.
All right, that's 2 bingos.
Are we not sure that the Helgrim scream or whatever it is doesn't happen in this movie either?
Wilhelm
scream?
That's what it was called.
I didn't hear it, but
is there a female version of the Wilhelm scream?
I think there is, because I think I had heard it in
Wilma scream.
Wilma scream.
Nice.
Because I'm pretty sure when he throws his wife over the bridge onto the tracks,
right.
that is like the female version of the Wilhelm
sounded
scream.
like it. We can count it.
Yeah,
We'll count it.
That's 12. All righty. So spawn cape continuum, Chuck.
Okay. Like, there's a lot of practical effects in this, and I kind of like the things that I kind of remembered being CG were not. Like I kind of remember like I say, I remember the Russian's face being a lot more grotesque, but I also kind of remembered it being like computer generated, and it's not. That's all prosthetic and done. The only CG thing I can think of is the skull at the end, the fire skull.
Yeah,
like that is very clearly CG'd, and it does not look good. It does not hold up. But the practical effects and everything in this is rad. So I'm gonna say like 42 out of like 59.
Okay.
Spawn capes.
That's fair.
Okay.
I thought the practical effects were all good. The fight scene was good. The dead Russian laying there was that was like
great.
The head all fucked up, his arm behind his body. Like, they did a great job. Shout out to Kevin Nash for taking that literal bump down the stairs, blowing out both of his quads at that time. At that point, that man had no quads. Just wanted to point that out. He does those fight scenes, no quads.
I love it. All right, so now on to our scores. So Colin,
whoa, wait.
Oh,
I didn't give him a boob count.
Sorry, boob count. There we go.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I forgot there were boobs in this movie, and then that little tiny blip of a scene happened. I'm like, shit, was that actual nudity or were they just wearing bikinis? So I had to go back and watch it again. And it turns out there are 4 boobs.
Yep.
I'm
right
thank
there
you,
with
Ron.
I forgot that was there too. I didn't realize that was there until it popped up. I'm like, oh wait, what?
Yeah. My mom saw this movie with me.
I'm looking this up right now. The Wilhelm scream, the female version is just Scream 7 of the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. All right, well, hey, we count it.
That tracks.
Because that definitely
is that like
sounded like
Song
the Wilhelm
2?
Scream. Song 2.
It's just like, I guess when they recorded it, there's 6 versions of the Wilhelm scream, and the 5th one was the actual one that's used in most movies.
Okay.
Huh.
But it's just known as like the 7th Wilhelm scream.
Huh.
Interesting.
Because they definitely use it in this. Like, that is very much a fake piped in scream that sounded super familiar.
All right, Colin. Out of 10, what would you give this movie? You can't go decimal points. We encourage
no decimal points.
No, you can. You can.
Okay. Decimal points. It's a 6.5.
Okay.
Like, it's fun, but it's 2004.
Look, we've seen a
good year for movies.
A lot of movies from, like, especially 2000s in this era of just, I'll say, Marvel
fucking rough
movies that were like up and down. 6.5's not bad. 6.5's not a bad score. Chuck, what you got?
All right, is this a Punisher movie? by all accounts, yes, it is a Punisher movie. Am I looking at it completely with the nostalgic glasses, and that this movie this is my '88 Batman? I've now realized at this point.
How many fucking movies, Chuck, can be your fucking Batman?
If there is one that's my Batman, it might be this. I used to think it was Daredevil, but more like that soundtrack alone, I think solidifies it as like the GOAT for me.
One thing I really enjoy about what we're doing here is we are going from the beginning. Like, we're watching these movies and we're getting more and more excited every time we watch these movies. As the years progress, we're seeing the progression of the comic book genre for these movies. And then we're going to see a downfall here soon, but that's, I digress.
Yeah, we did that at Catwoman, but
no shit.
I listen, I assume that Ron's probably going to nuke this a little bit, so I'm going to go a strong 7.7.
Oh.
This is a movie that I will put on and watch again. I paid $10 to fucking watch. I will watch this regularly. This will be my dread.
To own it?
Yeah, because there was no rental option. I had to buy the movie for $10.
$10 is worth it.
Yeah.
Just have Tim reimburse you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh, hey, Joey, go ahead and edit that out.
Okay. I can't edit out the video.
What are you talking? Tim doesn't listen to any of this. What are you talking? It's fine.
Yeah, he doesn't have to edit it. I edit it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Ron, what you got?
Despite Chuck thinking I'm going to bomb this movie, I actually do enjoy this movie. Mostly the action scenes, because, I mean, the Russian scene is stupid great, right? It is. He has some good fight scenes. I give it a 6.0.
It's also got that talking moment where it's like Vigo, where it's like, did you know he actually got hurt in this scene?
Yeah, you get that moment. Do you know how hard it was for me to like watch this and not go like, I explained the whole thing to my mom, and my mom's eyes were just glazed over, like she could not have cared less. I was like, no, he actually got stabbed. See, because Thomas Jane had practiced with the knife and he needed like a real one to feel the weight of it and stuff, and then they switched it. And they gave him the prop knife, which had the knife that like the blade would like retract and stuff. And then he forgot, and then they just stabbed him. That's the story, by the way. Was that he was practicing the flipping part, and like he just got so used to the weight of that's what he thought. And the prop people gave him that knife instead of giving him the prop knife. And then Kevin Nash goes on to kind of be like, yeah, I get why John Travolta shot that dude. It was up to the prop people to like make sure it was the correct gun.
Alec Baldwin.
Or Alec Baldwin, yeah. Well,
I'm sure.
Honest, Alec Baldwin and John Travolta are the same person in my head a lot of the time. So,
wait, who was the one that was the same for? What movie was that?
Kevin Costner and Michael Keaton are the same person.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
It was. Yeah.
Don't try to figure it out, Colin. It'll just hurt your head.
My dyslexia has a really weird, like, it shows up in weird ways. I stop at green lights and I confuse Kevin Costner and Michael Keaton. Don't worry about it.
That's fair. I love this movie. Nostalgia for me also gives it a high score. There's very little to me that I dislike about this movie, and even talk about it here, I still have it pretty high of my. I would watch this again. I give it an 8.2. I would pop this movie into my player anytime because I don't have it on digital. Because I fucked up and put on the wrong thing. So that gives us a combined score of 7.1, which is a little sad. I was hoping to be a little higher. But
you did the right math this time. I'm proud of you, bub.
I know. I had to remember that we had 4 people here. But that puts it at our new number 23, which just above Revenge of the Sith that we literally just watched at a 7.08, and just behind X-Men from 2000 at 7.13.
Wait, X-Men beat this out?
Yes. I'd watch this over X-Men.
Can I change my score?
I've already written it down. You should have thought about that before you.
Dude, I can't remember where I scored the fucking last movie we watched without flipping my page back. Come on.
Well, there is that. But yeah, no, that's it. It's, I mean, I wish it was higher, but I mean, it's in the top 25. So that's not bad. Top 25
out of how many movies?
93.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, like it's still in the top half.
What are the top 10s right now?
Okay. Hold on.
Put him on the spot.
Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Actually, you know what? If you listen to our show, you would hear these from time to anyway.
Nobody's doing that, Joey.
I don't listen to our show.
So Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker at 1. Superman from 1978. V for Vendetta. The Meteor Man. The Transformers the movie, the 1985 animated movie. Superman 2, the Donner Cut. Casper. I forgot we had Casper up that high. Yeah.
Casper's a good fucking movie, okay?
That was just you and me. And I really did like that movie.
What is that? Is that Jonathan Taylor Thomas at the end?
No, that's
oh
shit.
Who plays Casper?
The kid from Final Destination, Devin Sawa.
Kasawa?
Yeah.
Devin Sawa?
Devin Sawa.
Devin Sawa.
Casper's number 7. Blade is at number 8. Spider-Man is
Blade Trinity, right? The one
no, just Blade. We haven't got the Trinity yet. That's coming up here for too long. Let's see. Spider-Man number 9 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at number 10.
I like it.
Our top 10s are pretty solid.
So far.
Our top 10's all over the place.
It really is.
The fact that you have Casper in there out of nowhere is just.
I mean,
it was a good fucking movie.
It was also nostalgia for both Ron and I.
That's true.
That's why. Plus,
yeah, Chuck wasn't there to fucking bomb it for us.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. I actually love the Casper movie, so go fuck yourself. It's a very good movie.
All right, so what we
cry
need
as a child.
What we need is Chuck playing all of the episodes that he wasn't on for the rundown reviews, and then adding his own commentary.
Oh man, check the Patreon.
and we'll make that our Patreon content.
That's like
we have so much stuff that we're supposed to do for Patreon already. Like,
look, as long as we keep them waiting.
We need to do a live. We need to do a live read of Conan versus Darkman.
Those have been great.
No, absolutely not.
Hold on.
All computer generated by AI. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So, Colin, thank you for joining us. I hope we didn't turn you off of ever coming back eventually. Would you like people to know where you're at on the internet, or do you say fuck them all? You'd like to stay hidden?
Yep. See you later.
All right. Good. Let's go over to Chuck. Chuck, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, Kicked Out of the Hood, No Ian Kicked. You can find my hobby page on Instagram, Kicked Out of the Hobby, and you can find any day now. I'm going to start posting stuff on my kitchen and food thing.
You say that
TikTok.
Just like we say, we're going to do a Patreon.
It's the running gag. It's the running
gag.
Over at Kicked Out of the Kitchen. No Ian Kicked.
Ronald?
If I knew how to record things and send them into the network, I would do it. I would make random shit for the fucking. I'd be sitting there at work just bullshitting and send it in and make a Patreon content.
You can just record it. I used to just record it on my phone and then just send it to Tim. That's all I did.
What I need to do is just get you access to this, and then you can just record it, and then I'll just edit it for you.
That's great. See, that's
great.
That right there
I'm not going to do it.
Sorry, that right there is a trooper. Okay, see how he said he'd edit it for me. Tim doesn't listen to this, but anyways, Tim, take notes.
You know, you realize my editing skills is, hey, I'm here as I'm playing on my phone.
Speaking of, by the time this drops,
end of April.
By the time this drops, you will be a year away from hearing Elite Eight Showdown again. Of course, Elite Eight Showdown brought to us by all of our fans over at our Patreon, patreon.com/professionalcasual. Head over there, hit that 301 tier. That specifically helps this show and no other shows. So sign up there so Tim can finally pay Joe for all the hard work he does.
Anyways, you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Good at This Game. You can find my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game. And obviously here on this podcast. Joey?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Comic Book Rundown, on Threads at Comic Book Rundown. Email us, comicbookrundown@gmail.com. Rate and review us on your podcasting app of choice. If you do, we'll read it on an upcoming episode. Our song was done by Cam, and we've got merch over on Redbubble and TeePublic. Our next movie, going back to DC, we're going to be watching Superman Returns from 2006.
Is that the one with
Brandon Routh?
Yeah,
Yep.
the Adam or whatever.
Correct.
And name redacted, playing
yes,
Lex Luthor.
Yep. Yeah, I have not seen this probably since I don't know, 2015, 2016. It's been a long
first
time
five,
since I've seen this one.
The first 5 words you said is the same for me. I have not seen this.
Really?
I remember
bad.
That's not what I remember. I remember this being one of the biggest dumpster fires on the planet, and I've never seen it. That's just what everybody told me.
Well, shit.
I remember seeing a trailer. I remember seeing a trailer where he gets shot in the eye with a bullet, and I'm just like, man, that was dumb. I'm not watching that.
Oh my god, that is this movie. Oh no, Joey.
Next week's gonna be. I'm gonna rate that one high.
I'm gonna probably have.
Is that on a service somewhere?
Yeah, it's on Max.
It's on Max.
Oh, okay, cool.
And probably Netflix and Prime because WB is losing money, so they gotta shop their stuff out everywhere else. So
cool.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's it for now. Thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time.
I'm a damn down and Scooby Doo.